The Galactic Council chamber floated in the void between stars, a magnificent structure of crystalline spires and quantum-locked corridors, where 1,000 species gathered to dictate the fate of civilizations. For 300 cycles, humanity had sat in the outer rings, their voices unheard, their protests dismissed with the casual arrogance of beings who had ruled the stars for millennia. Angel Martinez stood before the Council's inner sanctum, her dark eyes reflecting the cold light of distant galaxies. Beside her, Oscar Chen remained silent, his jaw set in that particular way that spoke of decisions already made. They were the last human ambassadors, and everyone in the chamber knew this would be their final address. The Terran Confederation formally withdraws from the Galactic Council, Angel announced, her voice carrying through the translation matrices to every species present. No anger, no plea, just fact. The Skrell ambassador, a being of pure electromagnetic energy, pulsed with what might have been amusement. You cannot survive without the Council's protection, little mammals. The trade routes, the defense grids, the technology exchanges, you are nothing without us. Oscar finally spoke, and his words fell like stones into still water. We asked for protection when the Vrath raided our colony worlds. You deliberated for 2 years while 1 million humans died. We asked for fair trade when your cartel strangled our economy. You formed a committee. We asked for justice when your member states enslaved our people in the outer sectors. You drafted a resolution that went nowhere. You mistake our patience for weakness, Angel continued. You mistake our politeness for inability. For 3 centuries we have played by your rules, spoken your diplomatic languages, bowed to your ancient protocols. We came to you as students hoping to learn. Instead, we learned exactly what you are. The Hive Lord of Cantharis, a massive insectoid whose species had dominated half the galaxy, clicked its mandibles in dismissive laughter. And what shall you do, humans? Retreat to your little corner of space? You have 14 colony worlds and 1 overcrowded homeworld. We have thousands. We have existed for millions of your years. You are children throwing a tantrum. We're done explaining ourselves to you, Oscar said simply. He and Angel turned to leave. You walk away from the protection of the greatest alliance in galactic history, the Skrell shrieked. The moment you leave this chamber, you are fair game for any species that wishes to claim your worlds. Angel paused at the threshold, looking back over her shoulder. We're counting on it. The council chamber erupted in confusion as the human ambassadors departed. What did that mean? What were these primitive apes planning? They found out within a solar rotation. The Vrath, those same raiders who had slaughtered human colonists while the council debated, decided to test humanity's resolve. They sent a war fleet to the human colony of New Adelaide, expecting the easy pickings they'd enjoyed before. 3,000 warships armed with weapons that could crack planets. The fleet vanished. Not destroyed, vanished. Every ship, every crew member simply ceased to exist. No wreckage, no distress calls. One moment they were there, the next they were not. Security footage from a nearby trading post captured what happened in the fraction of a second before all sensors went dark. Space itself seemed to fold, and something that hurt to look at directly reached out from nowhere and everywhere at once. Then nothing. Humanity released a statement. We told you we walked away quietly. We didn't say we walked away unprepared. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. How had humanity developed such weapons? Where had they been hiding this capability? The Hive Lord of Cantharis made the second mistake. Perhaps emboldened by ancient pride, perhaps unable to believe that humans, who had seemed so weak for so long, could truly threaten the old powers, the Cantharis Hive declared humanity's colonies forfeit and sent their conquest swarms toward human space. Oscar's message was broadcast across every channel in the galaxy. We gave you 300 years to do the right thing. We asked, we pleaded, we negotiated, we compromised. We did everything your civilized society demanded, and you spat on us. You murdered us. You enslaved us. And when we called for help, you looked away. The Cantharis swarms, millions of warrior drones supported by planetoid-sized hive ships, entered the Sol system, humanity's ancient cradle. They expected a desperate last stand. Instead, they found Earth empty, not abandoned, transformed. The entire planet had become something else, something that registered on sensors as a spatial anomaly, as if the world itself had been replaced with a hole in the universe shaped like a sphere. The swarms tried to retreat. They couldn't. Space had changed. Roots that had existed for billions of years simply weren't there anymore. And then Earth spoke. though not in words any translator could parse. It was mathematics made manifest, equations that rewrote the fundamental constants of physics in the local space. The Canthari's hive ceased to exist. Not just the swarms, the entire species across all their thousands of worlds. They simply stopped. Every Cantharis everywhere at the same instant became something else. They didn't die. They became aware. They understood in one terrible moment of transcendent clarity every life they had taken, every species they had subjugated, every cruelty they had inflicted in their millions of years of existence. And then, unable to bear that knowledge, they chose to end themselves. Angel's voice came next on the galactic frequencies, and for the first time, there was emotion in it. Grief. We didn't want this. We never wanted this. Do you understand? We came to you peaceful. We came to you hopeful. We believed in the idea of the council, of civilizations working together. We believed in something better. For 300 years, Oscar continued, we hid what we were really capable of, because we didn't want to be conquerors. We didn't want to be feared. We wanted to be friends. We wanted to be partners. We wanted to belong. But you wouldn't let us, Angel said softly. You saw our restraint as weakness, our patience as cowardice, our hope as naivety. You took and took and took, and when we asked you to stop, you laughed. The Galactic Council chamber, for the first time in its ancient history, was silent. We're leaving now, Oscar announced. All of us. Every human, every colony, every station. We're taking our worlds and we're going somewhere else, somewhere you can't follow. We've learned how to step sideways through reality and we're leaving this galaxy behind. But before we go, Angel said, we're making some changes. Every slave in this galaxy is now free. The collars won't work anymore. The tracking systems have been erased. The debt records have been deleted. We've rewritten the physics of FTL travel, the routes you use to control trade and movement. They don't work the way they used to. You'll have to find new ways and they won't favor the old powers anymore. We've leveled the playing field for everyone you've been oppressing. You can't, the Zkrell began. We already did, Oscar interrupted. 3 days ago. You just didn't notice until now. Why? The question came from the Vex, an elder species known for their wisdom. Why help the others after what was done to you? Why not simply destroy us all if you have such power? Angel's laugh was bitter. Because we're not you. We're not going to become what we hated. We're just done trying to convince you to be better. You'll have to figure that out on your own now. And you'll have to do it without us to kick around anymore. The human ambassadors faded from the transmission, and within a solar rotation it became clear they had spoken truth. Every human world simply vanished, folded into dimensions the Council's best scientists couldn't even detect. Humanity was gone, but their legacy remained. The freed slaves, the rewritten trade routes, and the knowledge, spreading through every species, every world, that the quiet ones, the patient ones, those were the ones you should have listened to. The Galactic Council still existed, but it would never be the same. Because now everyone knew, humanity had possessed the power to destroy them all, and instead had chosen to simply walk away. And that quiet departure echoed louder than any war cry ever could.